How did you find out about the history of your grandfather, and how do you have reconciled with it afterwards?
I think to find out it's a drop by drop business, so over decades. But then the first time where I conflicted with her, or yeah, with the name was when I was in a boarding school, and a gardener who was a survivor of Auschwitz get a lot of pressure on me, beat me, treat me, and I was not sure what I have done. Maybe some mistakes. So nobody thinks in the age of 12 that his grandfather or about the Holocaust. It was not important for us. Well, it was the time when I grew up in the school. Nobody talks at all about the Holocaust. It was a secret in Germany, you know. So, and later on, it's drop by drop. I read the book, The Commandant of Auschwitz. I read the book, People at Auschwitz from Hermann Langbein. And I was aware, well, we had the lies in the family. So my father, after I get attacked and the teacher showed me, and it was the first time in the age of 12 when I put my foot on a concentration camp called Dachau. It was the closest one to my boarding school, and there's all these plaques on the wall. And later on, the commandant, Rudolf Hoess, the commandant of raises the biggest exterminator, wrote the same, like I wrote my name, the surname. And I asked my father and said, oh no, son, they made a mistake. It was Hess. They spelled the name wrong. And I said, well, okay. So it was the first part in my life which I was included in the family history. And later on I wrote a book, and then I got the chance. I know him from the beginning of my life. It was the driver of my grandfather, but not know that he was the driver. So and later on when I read the book and get the contact to him, and he believes that I'm now in an age which is good enough to educate me for the ideology of the real Nazis. And so it was over 20 years that I listened to his story and start researching, and to give him the feeling that I will be a good Hoess. So without, I couldn't get information. And it was sometimes such a heavy meeting that I have to throw up on the end of a discussion with him. So I sit in the car, and my wife, pulled me down and said, oh my goodness, what happened? I said, oh, so much nasty and ugly and cruelty story he told me. And he told me with such a pride and proud about it. And how glorified and what a good soldier, and he saves my life, and he was the best guy on planet. And then I cut my lines to my family in 1985, when I became a father in the age of 17. And my own father called my son a bastard and said, he will not be a Hoess, he is out before your marriage, and this and this and this, and your wife, it's not good for you and not good for the family. And I said, okay, stop. And it was that time when I was clear in my life never to be part of that family. And in 1985, I took the consequences and cut the lines until today. I'm not sure if he's still alive. I'm no contact with any aunts, cousins. The only person in my life which I have contact is my own mom. She lives close to me. I talk about her. She's in a nursing home. But the rest, they deny the Holocaust.
They still are savable somehow? They can be saved?
No, they're too ignorant. And my aunt made an interview with Thomas Harding, and I was with him here 2009 for research. And he asked her and said some question, and she said, how could it be that so many people survived when my father killed all of them? That's not true, that's a lie. Nobody got killed at Auschwitz. It was a prison. And this lady is over 80 years old. What did she have learned out of history? And I was yesterday with my partners on the villa, and they got the chance to look out the window. Well, nobody really believes how close it is to the crematoria. And they stand there, and it was like, they get so shocked and said, whoa, so close. I said, I told you that. And now we have a situation when you go back in history, and the time 70 years back, there was no wall. So the kids can see straight away what happened on the other side of the wall. And do you think right now they see nothing, they know nothing? No, it could be. But that's the truth.
Some Jewish survivors, because of the fear not to be concentrated again, the history not to be repeated again, they changed their names. Some of them didn't. When you first realized the history of your family and the fact that you carry such a strong name with a lot of going back to the history, did you thought to, I don't know, change the name or keep it as a signal?
I think right now it is the best choice I made not to change my name. Well, everybody can do my work, but I think it's my focus is more on the youth. Well, without our youth, we have no future, and that's definitely people in my age, 15 and older. Believe me, you cannot change these people again. So they're living in their world, so everything is fine, they're comfortable with it. But the youth, sometimes they have to rule our country. And if they're not educated in such a way, well, history is part of our world. And if we ignore history for the present time, how can we have a future? And we see it right now, Charlie Hebdo, Je suis Charlie. You see all that stuff, how close people can come together if something happened which nobody expects. And that is what I tell all the time, and I said it in an interview, and he called me, it's a friend of mine, he made an interview with me for a school, he's a teacher, and said, do you know what you said to me about 6 years ago? I said, how could I know what I said to you 6 years ago? He said, exactly what happened right now. That fascism grows ground, anti-Semitic, and it's not important, and that was said about religion. So now we have exactly the same. When you come to Europe, the right-wing movements gaining power in the European Union. And before, every governor and every government said, oh, it's a minority. No, don't care about it. Now they have the power. And 172 seats from 751. I think it's enough power. So when did the world wake up and start to connect each other to a fight against?
You told me you've been this year 4 times at Auschwitz. How is it to come back and deal with this history on and on again?
I think it's always the same. It's very emotional for me. Well, every trip I made here, I found things I not saw before on the trip before. So it's like a nail in a wall, you know. And I see it and think, oh my goodness, did my grandfather hammer it in? Or who made it? What kind of stories could a wall tell me when it would be possible that they can speak? Or you know, what they see, the feeling at all. I'm now 15 times here in Auschwitz until 2009. And the only problem I have to touch anything. I cannot open a door, I cannot touch a brick, nothing. I walk around, I have my hands in wintertime in gloves or have it in my pockets and wait. If I go inside a pavilion or a barrack, I have to wait that someone gets out, or now with my friends and partners, they open the door and I can in. It is not possible for me to touch anything. I will not have in any way a contact to my grandfather. It's like maybe it's a created fear I had over the impact it takes on me. But it's always a feeling that I had him, well, I blame him, that I have him on my neck all the time, that he walks with me around in the camp. And that's heavy stuff for me right now.